starting the third week, and I know y'all had your first real big scrimmage and then more, fully padded stuff today. So how would you kind of assess how those two practices have gone?
The scrimmage was phenomenal. I thought the guys did great. I think we were like 70% win on third down, and won the overtime. Did really good in the overtime period. And did a great job of affecting the quarterback. Sacks, takeaways, all that stuff. I thought they did well. Give up a few explosive plays, not that many on Saturday or Friday, and then today was probably not our best practice. I thought I don't know if it's because we had a great scrimmage or what, but I didn't think we started practice well, and the offense obviously came motivated. You know what I mean? Probably from how it went Friday, I guess. And but commend them, man. They got after us today. They threw it over our head several times. We're obviously very talented at wideout, and we gotta fix that up. We were doing some different things. You keep installing, you don't stop, and but that's no excuse. Now we could rise up today in the goal line period. I like that. I think we've got a really resilient group on defense. You know what I mean? They play with a lot of fire. We just got to kind of hone that in and send it in the right direction sometimes. Just overall, today was not our best day, but we did finish really well. Finished extremely well.
Your defense got the best of the offense in that end drill at the end of practice.
Yeah.
The energy really cranks up in that drill, doesn't it?
Yeah, those drills are great. You're really testing people's toughness, but at the same time, I need to see them play football, and so those drills are great. They test your manhood and your character. That's what that's doing. And then we got to take that to the 11 on 11. We got to tackle well and be physical in 11 on 11. Because ultimately, that's how we're going to win on those games. But yeah, we did. I was pleased with physicality. I don't ever have to worry about these guys being physical. We got a physical group.
How much do you have to balance? You're practicing against a really good offense.
Yeah.
Obviously, so you may get frustrated, but they're pretty good too, I guess.
Yeah, and for them too. It's not. There's plenty of times when you're going against your own offense, your own defense. We're going to install what we need to install and not try to pencil whip them per se, right? Or do our best not to. They're doing the same thing, right? So some days what we're doing may not match up, and that's not an excuse for today by any means. We did not play well today, but in terms of like balancing versus our offense, I think we got to worry more about us, and how we play the game. It's less about what we do and how we do it, you know what I mean? It's more about the how, right? So it's not always going to be perfect, but seeing us play with effort and stay on top and all those things, that's what you want to see.
How do you feel like the young guys responded to the first scrimmage? Obviously, when you get to the collegiate level, film after a scrimmage or after a game is a lot different, and the way you guys handle things is a lot different than they do at the high school level.
Yeah, I think they're doing well. A couple guys, young guys like DJ Spear from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2 is incredibly better. I see a guy like Ryan Roseboro, like a young guy for scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2, looking a lot better. So. Yeah, there's growth there, but not just the young guys; it's the older guys too. You know what I mean? There's some newness to some things we're doing, and some same as. But you also, I think you got to remember, we have several guys like we've talked in these press conferences before that are playing different positions, right? Okay. Now that doesn't make them like they're playing like a freshman; they know how to play college football. But just the comfortability. You see the growth of Sam Danka from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2. He had a great scrimmage. You know what I mean? You see the growth of Jackson Barker from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2, all that type of stuff. So, I think it's not just the young guys; it's just a lot of them. Just like I think Coach Harrell said in his press conference after, you want to see that growth week 1 to week 2 in the season, just like you want to see in these scrimmages.
What have you seen out of Damian Wilson, who played as much as he had played probably ever last year? Now with Kyle even stepping in bigger.
Yeah, he's probably had the best spring of anybody in that room. Really impressed with his preparation, and I expect that from him. He's a senior, but he prepares the right way. He takes pride in commanding the front. He's playing Mike for us and commanding that group. I think he's doing a really good job in the weight room, trying to change his body and stuff like that. So he's had a really good spring. I'm proud of him, and hopefully he can keep stacking days and not be satisfied with what he's done so far through 10 practices.
And then another guy who played well last year, the freshman KJ Romero. I know he's playing some nickel. Is he kind of flashing for you a little bit too?
Yeah, he's a good blitzer. He's a really good kid and cares a lot about what we're asking him to do, and that's ultimately one of the huge reasons he's playing a lot, because he cares a lot. There's plenty he's got to learn. still only a second semester guy, right? You know what I mean? So you talk about young guys, man, that's another one that's probably grown a lot through 10 practices. But yeah, that's like we talked last time, that's a dynamic position, it's a primo position, and he's doing a good job at it, for sure.
What's the biggest goal for you, going second half of spring or latter half for this defense to get where you want to go?
Yeah, I don't want to plateau, because you kind of start pulling back. Probably after Thursday, you're basically not installing hardly anything the rest of spring, and I don't want to cruise. I want to see us get better at what we have in and what we're doing. Right, we'll see guys not making the same mistakes. Right, because if you focus on not making the same mistake, eventually you'll run out of mistakes to make. And that's what we keep talking about. If you'll fix your mistakes day to day, by the end, you'll be running out of mistakes to make. And so I'd like to see us just not plateau and keep stacking days and finish strong these last 5 practices.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.